go. Well, may you live long and prosper. This is Geeks Assembled, and um, all the cards are on the table. And the one card that we are going to play first is Picard. Picard. Jean-Luc Picard is season 3. We are reviewing together, Lee and I. And thanks for joining me, and thanks for watching the Picard. It was really good this season, wasn't it? And what were your opening thoughts of this season?
Well, I've enjoyed each season. I mean, I know some fans didn't like the first season, didn't like the second season, and they're absolutely ranting and raving about this one, how wonderful it was. I enjoyed all 3 seasons because it was just built up to come to this. Yeah, a great send off for the original cast. I know they're saying this is it. This is the last time they'll be playing these characters. Is it though? money talks.
What if Big Finish gets them?
Well, you never know. Well,
isn't that like in the works somewhere?
It might be. You never know. You never know. But, yeah, this one season 3 was an all-out space adventure. As is the past 2 seasons, it was time travel and set on planets and stuff like that. This one was all out in space, battling against the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
A race against time, which was a great storyline. So yeah, I enjoyed this. How Star Trek should be done, in my opinion. I mean, Star Trek has got many shows out there, and some of these shows lose track of their history, the heritage, and sort of go off on a different tangent.
I know.
But this one showed you how Star Trek should be done. So, but that's my opening thoughts on Picard season 3. Very enjoyable romp.
Okay, I'm glad you liked it. The characters were. I like the fact that this season they had the foresight to involve almost every single one of the original Next Generation characters, even some of the side characters, like the Admiral was played by someone who played a captain in the Next Generation, and she was great. And let's see, there was a lot of energy. Michelle Hurd came back. She was amazing. Michelle Hurd adds so much to it. She's like an Alex Kingston. I think it's just that when you tighten somebody's curls to that level, and you put that many curls on a person's head, you're gonna that's energy. And so yeah, Alex Kingston and Michelle Hurd, just gotta say that it's like the same kind of thing. And Jerry Ryan, all season the captain was not calling her by her real name until the very end. And so 7 of 9 was called Commander Hansen for like a lot of it, because he was just uncomfortable with the whole Borg thing. But then all of a sudden, you find out that really he was just, keeping that going, kind of thing, kind of like, like a work environment tension, just to keep that tension in the work environment so that people stay on their toes. I'm not really sure that he that was a good thing or really not. But let's see. And the guy who played Jack Crusher, Ed Spielers, oh my gosh, he was so good. And he reminded me of the guy who played the young Picard in what's his name? The one in Star Trek Nemesis.
What, Tom Hardy?
No. I'm sorry, maybe. Anyway, the one who played the young Picard, the clone of Picard.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, was that Tom Hardy?
That was his first movie, Tom Hardy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Very,
Yeah.
very young Tom Hardy.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, there was a remnant. Yeah. Anyway, I think they nailed that. And Gates McFadden ends up being a badass a couple of times, and so that was that. Some fans had been waiting for that for 30 years. They just didn't believe that she was able to stand for herself. They always felt like she was a little sort of breathless and childlike in the next generation, and this time she just wasn't. She was a really substantial person, and yeah, I think that she had to adopt that, and that was fun, and that was really fun. And then let's see, the other situation that was going on in this season that was really incredible was like the intensity of the intensity of commitment of all these all these new Titan shipmates had to really get it had to get gelled pretty fast, and they did it, and they really came together even when they were Borgified and they were split into two groups, the olders and the youngers. That was classic Star Trek too. That was like just like one of those old the one where the kids were against the Grups. And so that was fun. And in terms of like the way that it resolved all of Picard's fatherly issues, that especially the one in the Nexus ribbon,
Mhm.
when he was sucked in there and he had all these kids and lovely wife, and she's in this Victorian dress. I just thought that I wouldn't assume that she would dress that way in the 23rd century, but that was his cat's meow. So anyway, this turned out to be a really good, the best kind of foil, the sun for a foil. That was so fun, and it also gave Picard a chance to grow. Riker had grown. Riker was just this big figure now. He's a father. He's a father of kids that have passed away, of kids that have grown up, of kids that are growing up and being amazing, and kids that and he's father, and he's a husband, and he's a husband who's had other affairs, but he's come back, and the relationship gets together, and then when they get together, it's so tight. Oh my gosh. And so, I mean, like, you've seen all the growth in Riker, and you've seen the growth in LaForge, because he's got kids now, and he's got a wife that's somewhere. And then there's, I mean, all of these characters. I mean, when you added all the other androids in, Data acted pretty human. I mean, he's got the the innocent one, the really evil one, and then the one that's like, it's Data, but you get all that, and then all of a sudden, you put him in real skin, and you got a fully fleshed out character, just like that. That was amazing how they did that way.
He finally became human.
He's very, very human. And he's emoting, and his emotions are catchable by a betazoid, which was fun. And let's see, more of this story that was beautiful to me. The other thing that was beautiful to me was the beautiful space fights. I love that beautiful formation that they do. I love it when ships just come in random. Like you can like there is sort of a randomness that the TIE fighters assume, and all um even the big ships assume in Star Wars. But in this one, they were in lockstep, like in formation. They were flying in absolutely beautiful formation, and it looked like, that circular Gallifreyan to me. They were spelling some shit out in circular Gallifreyan, so I bet that happened back, back when the Borg were fighting. The Borg and Cybermen were fighting with the Doctor and the Fourth Doctor, or the Doctor and the 11th Doctor. Anyway, that's my theory on that subject. But anyway, it's just fun. It was so fun. There were so many different levels of this, and I'm just thrilled to have watched it. And Yeah, so much got answered for, and I can't wait for it to come out on DVD. I am collecting these. These are the first two, and then I've got my Picard shirt here. This is from the first season though, and yeah. So I just thrilled. And I would just suggest that you get the merch, or you get some merch, and you get some DVDs, and you enjoy your Star Trek Picard, because oh my gosh, it's just so good for you to do that. And anyway, I think that's all. Let's go to Lee for things that stand out, favorite moments, things that are really exciting.
But you say it's good to find out, Jean-Luc had a son who he never knew about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes back in the Next Generation, you always wondered about Wesley,
Mm-hmm.
but that was never really answered or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And but then this one, his offspring was kept secret from him all these, was it 20 odd years?
Years.
Who had all these dark secrets inside him? But he didn't know what was going on. He could see things. He could make things happen. And of course, it turns out it was the Borg all along. Which comes to, you think of the question: if it was the Borg all along, did they know that Jean-Luc would have a child? Because did they pre-plan this with the I don't know how to put this, but the Borgified Jean-Luc sperm? Was this all planned?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah, no, they stole the deceased body of Picard from the station, to use the genetically enhanced materials what was still in his body, which for me, that episode was well, I had to say it was a wank fest for fans, that episode.
Yeah.
They were playing with the fans because everybody's thinking, what's going on? Tribbles. We've got the Genesis Machine 2. We've got Kirk's body in storage. Nothing to do with the story.
No.
No.
But like the April Fool's Day joke is, do you remember when they brought Kirk back again in Picard?
Yeah. But it's great. And I say then you find out the enemies are the changelings, but they were working for the big bad Borg. I mean, Amanda Plummer as Vadik. What a villain! Chewing the scenery. Every time she was on the screen, she was amazing. It was a shame to see her villain go, but hey, a villain has to have a great death, and that was a great way to go. Well, fucking solids. Well, yeah, you've got all the classic next gen characters in this, apart from Wesley, but he appeared in the second season. You, as you say, you've got, as you say, Riker willing to sacrifice his life for Picard.
Mm-hmm.
Because in his head, his life was over with. There were several times in this season where he was ready just to send a message to Deanna,
Mm-hmm.
saying sorry for everything I've done, but if you don't see me ever again. So he was willing to throw everything away.
But then it turns out that on one of those instances, she was the one in captivity that he was going to run into.
Yeah,
yeah.
So these other little things. Even the holographic Moriarty appears in one episode. Back to the Next Gen series. You've got, what else did you have? I'll just say you had Alice Krieger back as, well, not back as the Borg Queen, but it was her voice.
Yeah.
She voiced the Borg Queen again. You even
talk about body horror.
Yeah.
Borg Queen was just grotesque. Fangoria. That was what she was. She was Ms. Fangoria.
Yeah, I mean, you also had another voice. I don't know if it was in the last episode or the second to last episode. Walter Koenig.
Oh, that was the last one. Yeah.
As the President Anton Chekhov.
Yeah, and that was so sweet. Oh,
naming him Anton, a tribute to the actor who passed away.
Anton Yelchin.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, because I was watching it, I'm thinking, that's Walter Koenig's voice. And when the credits came, yeah, it was.
and then like the thing with that bit is that it was I mean, you think Anton Chekhov, and you some people who are not Trekkies would think of the playwright
mm-hmm.
or the author, and that was fantastic. I mean, what a good, I mean, capture that, but then also, of course, Anton Yelchin and Chekhov, and then he repeats the same thing that the admiral does in Star Trek IV. Save yourself, avoid Earth at all costs.
Yeah, and it was great to see all the different starships in Geordi's museum. You had Voyager, you had the Enterprise, all the even the Bird of Prey bounty from 4. Great to see all that. Just great, just nostalgic. Some of these episodes was a nostalgic trip. You say you even had the old docking
The
base,
docking bay, yeah. The
which was
space dock.
yeah, which was from which movie was that from?
Star Trek 3, Star Trek 2.
Something like that, yeah. Just and then early on in the series, you had where Titan was running away from Vadic's ship in
Nebula.
the nebula. So reminiscent of Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
It was just cat and mouse,
Yeah.
just hiding from each other. And I'm thinking, wow, this is just the feel of it was. They knew what they were doing.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then there's only
And
one little.
that sort of thing, those sorts of cat and mouse games are one of the truly unique qualities or sort of plot devices and qualities that Star Trek does so well.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh my gosh.
spoiler if you haven't seen the last episode. I mean, and this is my only little gripe, or I may have a question and you may be able to answer it, because there's a scene in this last episode what puts the second season a bit, I don't know. Q.
I know.
Um, the whole point of the second season was Q was dying,
Uh-huh.
and he wanted to say goodbye to Picard, and and end his existence on a good note, like that. Q appears at the end of this one, all jovial and saying it's just beginning, and I'm thinking, what's going on?
Huh.
He died.
I know. But he said that it was about uh the concept of time being linear. So in some ideation, this must be like Q appears to Picard, Q stays with Picard for a while, Q appears to Jack, uh Q appears to Picard again, and then just like a Doctor Who story where the Doctor meets the time traveler out of time, like the Doctor meets Alex River Song out like in the wrong order. So Q
But Q knew.
becomes sort of because he brought that phrase into being, that non-linear phrase there. That's the only thing I can think of. Go on, Lee.
Yeah, but Q knew he died because he said, "Oh yeah, yeah, I died." But
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Did.
That just puts the whole second season in jeopardy.
It does in a way retcon it, yeah.
Yeah, I think what?
But it
Unless,
also it's the point of that, I think, was to open the door for Jack and Jack and Seven
which might not
and
happen.
Rafi to travel the cosmos together.
Yeah, what Star Trek Legacy?
Star Trek Legacy or Star Trek um or or Star Trek uh
Because
Regeneration or something.
well, they've said if it's going to happen, it's not going to happen very soon.
No, I know. I get it, because they're struggling to bring attention back to Strange New Worlds. Like that's their next
Yeah,
big.
well, they said, I don't know if it's the director or the producer of Picard said, if you want this series of Star Trek Legacy to happen, you better have talking to the head of Paramount, because we have no say in the matter. So it might not happen.
Okay.
Because they said they've got about 2 or 3 Star Trek series on the go. These series cost money. If you have to make another one, something might have to give.
Yeah.
So hopefully it will happen, but because it does sound, the way it went with the renaming the Titan Enterprise G,
Yeah.
and it's always, nothing in a name. But yeah, from beginning to end, it was a great season. The full original cast were in it from the beginning. They gradually appeared as the episodes went along, which I thought was a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Reintroduce them gradually.
Yeah. And to add their current lives into their storytelling was great. And I don't know if they added any of the book material or any of the external stuff like comics or anything like that, but they did present the characters as further down their lifeline, having done quite a bit of different things.
I mean,
and that was good.
I know people didn't take kindly to the Titan Captain Shaw, but I quite like the character.
I know.
I know he treated Seven roughly, and he was a bit of a bigot and stuff like that. But then it turns out he actually liked her.
Yeah.
Enough to give his recommendation for promotion.
Yeah, before anything happened.
Yeah, before his, this was all recorded, before his death, and so that's he. It was just the way he was, but he liked her, and he wanted her to become a captain.
Yeah,
and she did.
And she did, and she took his ship, and
Captain Seven.
And he did end up calling her by her chosen name. I mean, right now in this world, we have a lot of people fighting to be respected for their names or their pronouns or their identity or their kind of relationship matrix. And I just think it's really something that I mean that they took a lot of care to respond to that in terms of Seven's old family all really had embraced her. All of them called her Seven. All of her the Voyager crew was had responded well to her, and then Picard just folded her into his to the old Enterprise crew, and so that was really fun. But then this whole thing with with Rafi and stuff, and the how she was responding to how Captain Shaw was responding to her, it seemed like such a step back from that place of acceptance and embracing. But he was, on one level you could see that he was just trying her and trying her and trying her, making sure that he'd get the best out of her. But then also like the naming thing, what it would have been really good had he worked through that a bit with her, it's just in terms of relationships. But I struggle to know the best attitude and the best acceptance for people when you're talking about the military or the Navy as part of the military, but the Navy, because Lee, I never served. I don't know really what that is, and so I don't know how that would play into like acceptance and embracing somebody's pronouns, their identity, and even their their chosen names. I
Mm.
I don't know. That's really hard for me. Anyway,
So, talking of relationships, it's not answered in this season, but you had Laris in episode 1
uh-huh.
with Picard. She's a character from season 1 and season 2.
and and
Um,
and from like I think season 4 of the Next Generation.
yeah, but she was she a love interest of Picard?
There, she very well might have been.
Because by the end of this season, is Picard with Beverly?
I don't know.
Because
That's even a good question.
because she was with him, she was living with him on his vineyard farm or wherever it was. You
Right.
know, she was doing things. You know, he was besotted with her, sort of thing. And then
Yeah.
you don't see her again after episode 1, after he's gone off to answer this emergency call. Um, but by the end of it, he's got a son, Jack. Beverly's back on the scene.
Hmm.
Laris is just gone.
Yeah, and she's run her and she has run her course, but nobody knows what her answer is, because she's not even mentioned again.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, that's rough.
but also as well in the last episode, you do see with Jack when he's putting his things away. There's a picture of Picard and Beverly
Beverly.
together.
And
Is that
that's actually a studio still from one of the premieres that uh Patrick
I mean,
Sir Patrick and whatever her name is went
Kate
together.
Winslet. But
Yeah.
is that, are we to assume that's a wedding photo?
Boy.
Poor old Laris.
Yeah.
That's the main gripe about the series. The characters, what you get to know, and then all of a sudden they're not in the next season, or they're not in, they're
Yeah, like the Borg Queen. Like, why couldn't they have used the Girardi Borg Queen, right?
or I forgot the other character's name. The is it the Vulcan?
Yeah.
What's his name? Because Raffi was fond of him, wasn't she? And
Yeah.
it's not even in the third season. I can't remember the character's name now.
Was his name um
Elnor.
Eldon?
Elnor.
Elnor?
Yeah. So it was season 1, season 2, and we know Santiago stayed on Earth in season 2, so he was not going to be in season 3.
Yeah,
So,
Elnor. Yeah, and so yeah. Look,
which is a shame. He was a good character.
yeah.
But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Great action, great story. You know, you know, the threat was there in nearly every episode.
Agreed. It was really cool. to have that much jeopardy in so many different ways.
Mm.
That was really terrific.
But that
And
the Borg was playing a long game here.
yeah, and the fact that they had the space dock uh almost completely disintegrated by or completely disintegrated by the time the all was said and done. I mean, that's amazing. And then um I just wonder how many of those captains would need a little bit of therapy for doing that. I just, that's one of my thing. That's one of my thoughts. And then, the other thing was, the relationship between Rafi and Seven. Is that gonna?
Yeah, it wasn't really spoken of in this season, was it?
No, it didn't. It didn't.
Didn't even.
I mean, they had the chance to make a an adult decision to be parted or to be really intimate and stuff. And so I just think that it would have been nice to know and to have heard that decision one way
Yeah,
or the other. And but now there are different levels in the pecking order in Starfleet, and so that's not going to work anymore.
mm,
You know, and I don't know. Everybody misses Rios, of course, but like that was fun anyway. Uh, so good.
oh yeah. I say it was a great season to go off on, and I say it was, as I've said earlier, they've stated this is the last time, but they didn't kill any of the main cast off, did they?
Nope.
So you never know.
Yeah.
You may get cameos from one or two of them in other series, like the Next Gen did with McCoy and Scotty.
Yeah.
So you might get cameos like that in other series.
Yeah. That would be cool. That would be really, really cool.
Yeah, you could get Riker Kane up on something else, and yeah, I thoroughly
So,
enjoyed it.
so what would be your final say and score for this season 3 of Picard?
It was an all-out action fest, fun fest, um, edge of your seat drama series of 10 episodes of Star Trek. And I like the way that it was episode 1 was called The Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
The final episode was called The Last Generation.
Yep.
So, yeah, a little nod to the past and to the future. So, for that reason, I'm going to give it. Ooh, I'm going to give it 10 Qs out of 10.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's awesome. So it was funny the way it came out. It sounded like you were saying thank you.
Thank
Thank
Qs.
you. Thank you. Thank you is out of 10. Uh, um,
Fun watch.
and I still don't think that they've completely finished with the board because there may be still other places that they have hold up. And that must, those ships, okay. I also think that due to the way that the Enterprise flew into the superstructure and aimed for the thing, it was very, very, very much like Death Star 2.
Yes.
Yes.
I was thinking that.
Yes. And then shooting out from the flames, so of course the Enterprise is surrounded by its own force field, but that was definitely the Lando flying the Millennium Falcon into the superstructure of the Death Star with Wedge to take out the central engine. I just think that was great. And
I think that was a little nod, wasn't it?
oh my gosh, yes, it was just a little nod. It was just great. And those Borg cubes must be something else, because you know where it was parked. It was parked in the red eye of Jupiter, and that is a hurricane that's like a red eye is that red eye is a storm that's been going on for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So
And
that's
also,
one.
and also as well, when they converted Jack to the Borg, what do they call him? Was it Vox? That he did look quite hot in the Borg costume.
Oh, okay, good.
And I don't mean as in sweaty hot. I thought as in hot. He looked hot.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Anyway,
Black leather, you know.
the leather was nice. Yeah, so I can. Yeah, good point, Lee. And the storm is really something else. I mean, they say that there's no structure on Earth that would be able to stand in the face of that storm. That very little of actual rock formations on the planet would stand in the face of that storm. So that Borg cube must be some sort of amazing.
That's why nobody ever found it to begin with, because nobody ever thought looking there.
Yeah, that is not the place you'd definitely look for a Borg cube. Anyway, so great, such a great story. I'll give it 10. I'll give it 10 changeling puddles of goo out of 10. And I just think that I hope we haven't seen the last of the changelings. And it would be sad if we have, because I did really like Odo. I liked Renee Auberjonois, and I really liked the fact that he was like he and Kira Nerys were like boyfriend girlfriend at the end. That was fun. And let's see, other things that are just amazing about that. I really liked I really hope that the Borg are like the Cybermen of Doctor Who, that they come back, that they find ways of coming back. And but I also like the fact that Starfleet is more and more diverse and more dense. There's more and more ships, more and more. And so, as you're aiming for the future, as Discovery did, there is some time in the future going to be a purge of dilithium, or a burn or something. Burn, that's what they call it. And so I mean, just it would be great to get so much more information about the rest of the galaxy. I always want to see all these ships, like just little bits of if you're on one ship and then like there's a bunch of other ships doing cool shit, like we can go bouncing from ship to ship to ship, seeing what's going on in other parts of the galaxy, because there's so many. And yeah, they all almost got taken over by Borg, but doesn't matter because they're still really cool. Okay. So that's my theory on this, and that's why I like Star Trek. And thanks for watching our. Go ahead.
And bring back more Borg erotica.
Oh, and Borg erotica.
Oh,
Nice, awesome. And oh, the way that just trips me right up. That's good. It's good. Okay, so thanks for watching our video. Thanks for watching our channel. Subscribe, hit the bell notification button. We will provide you with future videos and notifications when those come out, and then also, you know, try and stay tuned this weekend, because we're also reviewing The Mandalorian season 3 of that too. So that's just amazing too. And it just finished on the same day, or the day before Picard finished up, and so that's really fun. And join us if you want. Talk to Lee. You have a device that works, a camera, a microphone, and Zoom, and be over 18, because sometimes we get a little and stuff like that. And so yeah, thank you for watching, and live long and prosper, and have a great day. And you know that you're not alone, that you are not.